But I would say for people learning English as a second language, like, unless you want to integrate into that kind of group of young, cool kids on the street, innit? Question tags, or as the Brits like to say, innit. Right, so there is an official, technically correct answer, and that is we don't use these that often, I think. They should be used for emphasis. It's really hot today, isn't it? That's a great way to do this, don't you think? What we're then doing is it's one, emphasizing, but it's also looking for rapport, for agreement from the other person. And it really indicates that we've said something and I'm looking to see that you agree with me, you believe the same. And that's why you'll hear it an awful lot with things like the weather. Oh, the weather's crap today, isn't it? This is a really awful day, right? And again, it's because it's a part of the rapport building process. It's how we show empathy for another person and look to kind of make that connection with people, drawing a conversation. So that's how it should be used, and it really should be used in that kind of situation. There are other ways that they use, but basically it's all about emphasis and searching for agreement. However, as you very rightly pointed out, younger people especially, and in very, very casual forms of English, especially in more what we might call dialects, in that kind of dialect and in that kind of very casual English, honestly, it just gets used, it means nothing. It just gets tagged onto the end of everything, innit? It's like every single thing I'll say, innit? It's like, just doesn't mean anything, right? Isn't it? It's just a part of the dialect and it has no actual meaning in the conversation. And then it's very similar to, for people who understand Japanese, it's this kind of tag on thing is very, very similar to the word net, which kind of just gets tagged onto the end of a lot of things. And technically speaking, that is doing the same thing. It's looking for agreement, it's rapport building. But in more casual dialects, younger people especially will just tag that onto the end of anything. And again, it just doesn't mean anything, basically. Now, unless you want to talk like that kind of person, like, I really just suggest you just ignore it and don't try to replicate that yourself. I hesitate to say it's good English usage because, there are so many different ways of speaking, so many different dialects. You can never say that something is good or bad. It just is what it is. But I would say for people learning English as a second language, like, unless you want to integrate into that kind of group of young, cool kids on the street, innit?